How much of the Packers' situation this year is Aaron Rodgers' fault, Ryan?
100%. 100% Aaron Rodgers' fault. I say that in the sense that when you have the type of talent that Aaron Rodgers has, and you go over your coach's head and you change the play calls and you're not getting it done on the field, I don't know how you're not to blame. This is not a spectacular MVP type year in which we have looked at Aaron Rodgers in the past and just said he doesn't have a run game, his quarterback can't create separation. Max, you know it. He's been throwing his receivers open. I didn't see that this year. Maybe it's him coming off the injury. Maybe his reluctancy to give up his share and take in the offense. This isn't a situation where Peyton Manning made all his audibles, all his calls at the line, changed everything, did what he wanted to do. But guess what Peyton did? Peyton Manning succeeded. So when I give blame, I can no longer look at the front office. I can't look at McCarthy. I got to look at Aaron Rodgers because he's the man who put Green Bay in this situation.
Damien, let me tell you a story. When I did Max and Marcellus on the radio in L.A., sometimes Ryan would fill in for Marcellus. Mm-hmm. So we used to chop it up, hang out sometimes. He was over at the crib one day, and it happened to be Green Bay against Arizona. And was that the playoff game, or was that to make it into the playoffs?
Playoff.
That was a playoff game. That's right. And we're watching, and they're pinned. Their back is to the wall, and they need a miracle from Aaron Rodgers. And what I say, I said, and we're standing up and yelling at the TV and everything like people do. And I said, okay, Aaron Rodgers, you're supposed to be the best who ever did it. I go around saying, don't make a liar of me. Let me see you pull off the miracle. And he made a throw on the run that only he and maybe Mahomes now could make. And it was good, and it was only where the receiver could catch it. The defense had no chance, and it was called back. And what I said, okay, Aaron Rodgers, you're supposed to be the best ever. Let's see you do it again. And on the very next play, he did the exact same damn thing. You're right that Aaron Rodgers is to blame for the state of the Packers.
Yeah.
If by blame what you mean is put them in a position to be much better than they ought to be. Get them there. Whatever he does that you think is detrimental is against a standard of perfection that does not exist. In fact, what he is to blame for is the fact that their record with him, 6-10 the first year, but 11-5, 10-6, 15-1, 11-5, 12-4, 10-6, 10-6, 7-9. That last year, that's like the sky is falling.
You got hurt. I get it. Yeah.
That's what Aaron Rodgers is to blame for. On a team that without him, if you put in an average quarterback, no one would even think about them. They'd be like run-of-the-mill team. Because of Aaron Rodgers and only Aaron Rodgers, it ain't the coaching staff, it ain't what's around him. It's because of Aaron Rodgers every year. They're in the Super Bowl conversation. They are a thought. Even if they're not favored, they're one of the teams you have to pay respect to when you think about who might make a Super Bowl run because of Aaron Rodgers. So good, blame him. He does deserve all of the blame. All of it.
Yeah.
He deserves the blame for any good thing about the Packers.
Listen, I've been hard on Aaron Rodgers because I understand and see and watch his greatness year after year after year. But there's no way in hell you could say 100% that this is all on Aaron Rodgers. Okay, let's just be frank. Whether we're talking about the free agency and the lack of them adding pieces in free agency, Green Bay has been consistently year after year that we're just going to develop and draft and develop. Okay, you got to be able to supplement that with players in free agency. So I fault them for that strategy. Then we get to Mike McCarthy. And the one thing we talked about with Mike McCarthy as a head coach is his lack of evolving as a coach and as it relates to his play calling and just play design. We've seen it from Andy Reid. Andy Reid has done a tremendous job. I mean, we're talking about guys who come from the same tree, the West Coast tree. But not all West Coast systems are the same. Sean McVay comes from the West Coast system. But if you look at their designs, they're totally different. These are coaches that are implementing aspects from the college game into the pros, and that's why you're seeing the prolific numbers from a Patrick Mahomes-led team. Well, when you look at Green Bay and Mike McCarthy and the relationship with Aaron Rodgers, you just constantly see the headbutting. And the one thing when you watch the Green Bay Packers, it seems like the same play design over and over and over again. Now, because of the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, he's made those plays happen. But what I will fault Aaron Rodgers is this: we can't keep heaping praise on Aaron Rodgers and then you're 1-8 on the road. You can't be called this bad man. As our colleague Stephen A. always shouts out when we talk about Aaron Rodgers, he's a bad man. But you're 1-8, you're 1-8 on the road, or 1-7 on the road. You just can't. I can't give you that type of praise if we're going to hold you to this high standard. Then when things aren't working your way, you definitely deserve some of the blame.
Hold on, I understand that. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
You kind of said that.
No, he's the best. That doesn't make him. He's the best by far. That doesn't make him perfect. So if you want to hold him to a standard of perfection by saying he doesn't deserve, okay, fine, I get that. But you just acknowledge McCarthy is what he is. He ain't exactly Bill Belichick, right? How have the Patriots done on the road this year? Not very good. They're much better at home than on the road. And that's with Bill Belichick as your head coach. It's okay. You can be bad on the road sometimes if you don't have a team around you. The reason he's audibling so much and you're saying, well, Peyton Manning got credit for that.
So that's his fault then.
But Peyton Manning and his coach are on the same page. The coach is giving him that latitude. They're saying, we want you to be another coach on the field.
Whose fault is it that they're not on the same page? Whose fault is it?
The coach.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have the highest paid player?
If Aaron Rodgers is your star, get on the same page.
Here it is. Tom Brady was a guy who would sit in 5 wide, go for it on 4th down, air it out, 400 yards again, air it out. Bill Belichick came to him, sat him down and said, you know what? We're going to run the ball. We're going to slow things up. We're going to win a different way. Brady never let his ego get in the way. Aaron Rodgers said, no, I'm going to keep being Aaron Rodgers.